I think Singh's got some kind of adrenaline addiction. He plays it too close to the edge.
He made it out of Dubai, didn't he?
I'm telling you, if it had been anyone but Jensen on the ground, Singh would be dead.
Well, you know what? I think you're right about that. I've got to hand it to you for your role in Dubai.
First the Dubai mission and now the train station bomb. This is a week for the record books.
Half the cybercrime division is combing the web for any hint of those mystery guys from Dubai. That's not really our area of expertise. But Miller wants them back.
This traffic grid, causing gridlock for hours and preventing life-saving medical transports from getting through. In Chile, they committed massive voter fraud when they rigged the electronic voting system and elected a 12-year-old boy as president.
I think one of them would pop up on some
In Russia, hacked combat drones attacked St. Petersburg, and millions of workers lost their jobs when the collective leaked classified corporate documents, causing several Fortune 500 companies to go bankrupt. Between you and me, folks, the collective is one of the most dangerous criminal organizations in the world, despite whatever praises the underground media wants to sing. This is Eliza Kassan, reporting to you live from Picus. Ariel is constantly bringing the best and latest technology. Our portable data solutions have massive storage capacity, flexible screens, and over 1,000 other unique and patented features. Ariel, up in the stratosphere. Back to New York, and a more in-depth look at UN Security Council Resolution 3507, also known as the Human Restoration Act. This legislation, if passed, calls for the removal and downgrading of all overly powerful, unlicensed augmentations. Individuals who fail to comply will be arrested and relocated to designated AUG-only locations. Safety is the primary concern, especially in the wake of the AUG incident, where millions of people lost their lives due to malfunctioning augmentations. Opponents of the legislation have been protesting all over the world, and many of the protests have turned violent. This escalation in the violence and rhetoric has only widened the gap and polarized the dialogue on both sides of the issue. We will be watching the UN closely for any break in the story. This is Eliza Kassan, reporting to you, live from Picus.
They may have batteries, but we've got this. Shanti and Matrix. For all you need to get
Is there something I can help you with, Agent?
I hear you're on point looking into the gold mask mercs that hit us in Dubai. Any leads yet?
Christ, I know I'm good, Jensen, but I've only been on it for 5 minutes.
A lot can happen in 5 minutes, McCready. You check with the ME yet? Get anything off the bodies we recovered?
Leftovers are on ice at the Oman substation. I've been told they were scrubbed clean as summer whites. No prints, no dental, no nothing.
So in other words, it's no steps forward and 2 steps back.
For now. That's why it's a good thing you disabled the Jinn's comms booster in Dubai. Singh's cover with the Jinn is still intact. I'm hoping once he's back in Basra, he can use his network to dig around. Maybe these gold mask jokers will ping locally. Probably another fucking jihad looking to make some noise.
I don't know. I'm not so sure we should be looking for these guys in the desert.
Ah, is that so? You have some new information you feel like sharing?
Come on, McCready. These guys were augmented with military-grade hardware. Body augmentation goes against Muslim beliefs. They weren't jihadists. We're dealing with something new here.
I can see where you're going with this, Jensen, and I'm asking you right now to back off it. It's not your case.
You always this pig-headed? Or are you just going out of your way on my account?
Miller mentioned that you might be pissed not getting to follow up with the investigation. I told him it wouldn't be a problem. I'm not being pig-headed, mate. I'm following orders. And I get a bit of a kick watching you squirm over it.
So you're just an asshole.
I thought we established that in Dubai. Now, get out of my face, Jensen. I have work to do.
After Dr. Tellis
I'm in the middle of something, Agent.
If we want to catch Janus, we're going to have to get creative because nothing we're currently doing works.
Agent Jensen!
Agent Singh. Wasn't expecting to see you again. In civvies, at least.
Just passing through. I wanted to thank your team for the backup in Dubai. That sting went to hell faster than the storm did.
You're welcome. But I don't think you came all this way to say thanks.
Director Miller asked me to get Agent McCready up to speed. Now I have the red-eye flight back to Oman.
Headed into the field office there?
Not exactly. One of our black sites. I'll be dropped in as a captured enemy combatant. After I contact my fellow Jinn prisoners, I shall lead a very convenient escape.
Re-embedding with the Jinn. Aren't you taking a big risk, given everything that happened?
No choice. That ambush knocked everyone on their asses. TF29, Bell Tower, the Jinn. To cover all the angles, I need to go back. Hopefully my cover is still good. You killing the signal booster at the hotel should help.
You're thinking the Jinn can get a beat on our gate crashers faster than TF29.
Perhaps. They do not like loose ends. An augmented kill squad with military training. Have you ever seen anything like it?
Yeah, once. But it's a long story. Did we get anything out of the cleanup operation?
Mostly corpses. Heavily augmented, as you know. Under those gold masks, they were ID scrubbed. No prints, no dentals, no DNA match. Professional.
Could still be ex-Bell Tower. Plenty of men and material went AWOL after the incident. A competing faction that listened in on Shepard's sale.
It's a possibility. The audits and investigations of Bell Tower will go on for years before we know how many rats jumped from that ship. At least we recovered the weapons. Unlisted. High spec. Military-grade augmentation. Enough to build another couple of you. That is a joke.
Right. It's the world we live in. Anyone with an exemption to the weaponized augment ban is a useful tool. Or a terrorist. Whoever they were, they knew exactly when the deal was going down. Any chance they were based locally, in Dubai?
No. After the incident, Dubai became the world's most luxurious tombstone. Perfect for the Jinn, but for no one else.
I thought human augmentation was frowned on in the Middle East. Why was Dubai hit so hard?
Because it was another world. Two other worlds, in fact. One of extreme augmentations in gold or crystal, and one of thousands of workers outfitted for construction. Then, that day.
I know.
No, Agent Jensen, you could not. Some called it divine punishment. But that day was not the work of a merciful God.
I don't envy what you've got ahead of you.
Actually, I'm looking forward to it. The truth is, when you've been under for long enough, you only feel like an imposter out here, in the real world.
Yeah, I understand the feeling.
Through all the alphabet agencies, nothing.
I
hate this. It is Jensen. First the Dubai mission, and now the train station bombing. This is a week for the record books.
I've got to hand it to you for your role in Dubai.
I have been suffering flashbacks to the AUG incident. That horrible day 2 years ago when augmented people all over the world...
You'd think one of them would pop up on some list somewhere.
...causing the greatest loss of life in recent history. I cannot speak for you folks, but terrifying memories of that day still haunt me. It will certainly be a while before any of us forget it. This is Eliza Kazan, reporting
These
to
guys
you
might as well be
live
ghosts.
From Picus.
Exclusivity, anonymity, security. These are the greatest concerns of the digital age. And we at Palisade Property Bank have made addressing those concerns priority one. Information archived
I've run DNA checks through all the alphabet agencies.
is
Nothing.
beyond the legal jurisdiction of any government. Assured anonymity. Palisade Bank Corporation is now and forever will be the best secure corporate archiving company in the world.
Around the clock, around the world. Picus Neffex, always watching, because you are always watching. Turning now to Prague, a city still reeling in the wake of a devastating terror attack. Dozens were killed and hundreds more injured yesterday.
These guys might as well be ghosts.
A train station. I do not need to remind you folks that this is the third such attack to strike Prague in 6 months. All of them occurring after Dr. Talis Rucker, leader of the Augmented Rights Coalition, took up residence in the neighboring Udalek complex.
You'd think one of them would pop up on some list
Organization
somewhere.
is peaceful and merely seeks to ensure the rights of the augmented in a world that has turned against them. But with the United Nations set to debate the Human Restoration Act in
Agent Jensen,
could the good doctor be changing his tune?
I'll forward you
Your
any
guess is
files
as
you
good
want.
as mine.
Just have
I
run
guess the
DNA
transit
checks through all
authority
the
isn't in
alphabet
as much of a hurry as you are.
And now for a close look at the event making headlines around the world.
Negative. They're saying it was meant to be.
In the hands of irresponsible journalists, it can be. Underground websites and radio stations continue to praise the Juggernaut Collective, an elusive group of vigilante hackers for exposing big money corruption. What these journalists... overlook, however, is the damage these hackers leave in their wake. Last year, the Collective shut down London's traffic grid, causing gridlock for hours and preventing life-saving medical transports from getting through. In Chile, they committed massive voter fraud when they rigged the electronic voting system and elected a 12-year-old boy as president. In Russia, hacked combat drones attacked St. Petersburg. And in the U.S., millions of workers lost their jobs when the Collective leaked classified corporate documents, causing several Fortune 500 companies to go bankrupt. Between you and me, folks, the Collective is one of the most dangerous criminal organizations in the world. Despite whatever praise we have for it, it's close to Silicon to get maximum strength. This is Eliza Kazan, reporting to you.
Two mobsters in the morgue right now?
Composition
Members
could
of
tell
the
us a
same
lot, but it's the trigger that really does the talking.
State police just arrested an augmented teenager who kicked the door of a police car.
Somewhere in this city, there's a mob-owned casino.
I'd love to get a look at the boss fight myself. Last night, the
Nice.
collective published the tax returns, which
I'll mail
would
it.
just people in Switzerland. It made for some very interesting reading.
Cute. But they're never going to beat the time they broadcast that sweatshop.
Jensen, we need to talk.
Are you two actually praising the collective?
We're comparing notes. If we don't learn the way these people think, we'll never track them down.
It isn't safe.
I don't even know where to start with theorizing percentages. I'd rather not
Hey,
say
Agent Jensen, nice work in Dubai. But still, you know what I want to know is who those ogged up guys in the gold masks
Negative.
were.
They're saying it
I'll
was
be
faulty
compiling all the
wiring.
case files, and as soon as I know anything, it'll be up. on the
No,
board.
it's the right call. I'm relieved, to be honest.
This guy is the face of the Jinn and a charismatic force of nature.
What
They
I
call him
hear,
the Bull of the
the
North
explosives were
and the
designed
Heart
to
of the
get
Jinn.
maximum spread.
Real name Solar.
They're posturing,
Works in conjunction
as
with
opposed
his
to
cold
conducting
and
an
calculating
actual
brother,
investigation.
Wasim, who saved his life during the AUG incident. He is proudly augmented and parades his AUGs around
Composition could
wherever
tell
and
us a
whenever
lot,
he
but it's
likes.
the trigger that
The
really
hatred
does
of
the
AUGs
talking.
from groups around the world has only emboldened him and his organization.
We're advising people to stay at home, so
I would have
someone
thought you'd had
can
your
be
fill of these
example.
guys since Dubai, Jensen. The Jinn, a group of smugglers led by twin brothers Salar
Negative.
and
They're
Wasim
saying it was
Alam.
faulty wiring.
Their exact base of operations is unknown, but it's most likely in Muscat, Oman. The brothers Alam have been in operation since 2020 and have greatly expanded their operations since then, recruiting
action would be
mercenaries,
great if we
ex-military,
were to start.
nationalistic agitators, and other colorful criminal agitators from Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and the surrounding region. They deal in drugs, weapons, medical implants,
Just wish
AUGs, and they
someone would nut up
occasionally
and
throw in
take
some
the
human
blame.
trafficking. Our arms dealer Shepard, aka John Trent, is a former Special Forces commander and ex-Bell Tower operative. And as is typical for those ex-Bell Tower employees, he's been selling off old Bell Tower tech and weapons. But we don't need to worry
Is
about
it or is it not a
He
probable
was killed by
target?
those gold mask guys in Dubai. Ah, Wasim Alam, the head of the Jinn, former limb clinic doctor and surgeon before he turned to more
What I
profitable
hear, the
enterprises.
explosives were
He
designed to
brings
get
the same
maximum
cold and
spread.
calculated approach he brought to saving lives to running his business with his brother, Salar. Ah, Agent Singh, great poker player. I still owe him 100 credits. So I hope his incursion
I'd love
with
to get
the
a
Jinn
look at
lasts
the bomb
another
site
few months.
myself, but
you know,
no
maybe he'll
dice,
forget I
no
owe him the
show.
money.
The train station cameras.
Oh, here we go. The Diwali crime family. As you may already know, they're one of the largest crime syndicates in Eastern Europe, but they do business almost
don't even
everywhere
know
from
where to
Northern
start
Europe
with
all the way to
theorizing
the Middle East.
percentages.
After their humble beginnings in a coastal town in Georgia, the Diwali quickly moved from gambling to more lucrative criminal enterprises until they found their specialty, smuggling, which includes human
Composition could
trafficking
tell us
too.
a lot, but it's the
The
trigger
Diwali
that
can
really
get
does the
anything
talking.
to
Listening
anywhere.
this police
It's as if
chatter?
borders just don't
My
exist to
God,
them.
it's a comedy of errors.
But their rapid expansion came at the cost of their Georgian purity when they started incorporating an ever-increasing number of
I'd
Russians
love
into
to
the
get a
group.
look at the bomb site
If you ask
myself,
me,
but no
I
dice,
think a
not our
major
show.
power struggle is
We know
coming
Steve
within the
Williams
Diwali.
learned about
One of the
I've run
old
DNA checks
versus
through
the
all
new.
that. Now I think
The
most of it
past
nothing.
versus the future.
I don't even know where to
the
start with theorizing
elusive Radich
percentages.
Nicolazzi. This guy's a piece of work. Driven and ruthless. When he came up, he was the youngest boss in the Diwali crime family. The man spends more money on suits than most people spend on their houses. But don't let the looks and the haute couture
DNA
fool you.
checks through all
He's
the
the boss.
outlets.
He's in control, and he's squashed more than a few people who've tried to take him down along the way. Otar
Preemptive
Bagdaveli.
action would
This
be
guy's
great if
a
we were to
classic. They don't make many like him anymore. Sharp mind, a real
think one of them
businessman.
would pop
One of
up
those
on some
gangsters who
list?
thinks that crime is a necessary evil, you know? If it's gonna happen, he's there to make sure people
Just
have
wish
respect
someone would
and make
nut
good
up and
money.
take the blame.
Good business. Otar's right-hand man is this guy, Vano. Not the sharpest tool in the shed, if you know what I mean, but he's strong and loyal, something Otar
What
values
I
greatly.
hear, the explosives were designed to get maximum spread.
Ah, the Diwali called this guy Constantine. Like that's supposed to be intimidating, right? We don't have a last name for Constantine, but until his death in the Rizika bombing, he was a high-placed
Negative.
member of the
They're saying
Diwali
it
crime
was faulty
family,
wiring.
answering to Otar Bagdaveli. We suspect he has lots of connections in the upper echelons of the organization, all the way up to Radich Nicolazzi and beyond. Between you and me, I
We're
suspect that he's
what
a
I hear,
Pathan,
the
a spy
explosives
that
were
watches
designed
the
to get
Diwali
maximum
lieutenant
spread.
closely to make sure he doesn't make a move on the boss. The classic Diwali structure has two spies, or Pathans, working for the lieutenant
it's
who
the
report
right
directly
one.
to the
Love
boss,
to get
to make sure he stays the boss. Those guys are pretty violent. You know as much as I do about these guys. They're augmented, well-trained, and very dangerous.
They're posturing.
And they seem to be massing weapons and AUGs for some sort of attack. We don't know what yet.
Just wish someone would nut up and take the blame.
You've heard of these guys. ARC, or the Augmented Rights Coalition. They're a human rights group who, on the surface at least, is trying to provide equal rights for augmented people. It was started by
They're
Dr.
saying it was
Talos
faulty
Rucker
wiring.
soon after the AUG incident when Rucker started to speak out against the anti-AUG legislation that was being passed by several local governments. If you ask me, it's not working. Things seem to be getting worse. ARC preaches non-violence, but a string
Composition
of
could
terror
tell us a
attacks
lot,
has
but
put
it's
them
the
on the
trigger
terror
that
watch
really
list.
does the talking.
So I'll let you be the judge. Dr. Talos Rucker, former limb clinic doctor and current leader of the Augmented Rights Coalition. Rucker has chosen to leave his native Germany and to live in the Utrecht complex near Prague as a protest to draw attention to the upcoming Human Restoration Act vote. Rucker is a pacifist and believes that what is happening in Prague is what will happen all over the world if the Restoration Act becomes law.
Is it or is it not
Here
a
we go,
probable
the
target?
Church of the Machine God, and to some, the Church of the Machine, without the God. And then again, to others, the Singularity Church of the Machine God. This group has so many names and subgroups, it's hard to keep track. And believe it or not, they've been around in one form or another since the early 1970s. There are a lot of contradictory reports on who they are and what they want, but in general, they all want the same thing. They want to merge their consciousnesses and become one with the machine god through a ritual they call
Composition can tell us a lot, but it's the trigger that really does the talking.
The Church of the Machine God has a leader, but all we know about her at this point is that she's a woman, and they call her Mother. That's creepy, right? I think that's really creepy.
I'd rather not say what this reminds me of.
There's a rumor that the Church of the Machine God is building a machine that will help bring forth the singularity.
Security over there.
Sure, I guess that's a possibility. I'm just not sure what they would plug that machine into. Samizdat is an underground news outlet that likes to think of itself as the real news. They are anti-establishment and anti-almost everything else, including business addresses, so we like to keep our eyes and ears open for any mention of them.
Is it or is it not?
What to say about the Juggernaut Collective that isn't speculation. A bunch of their members were running operations out of Montreal in 27, resurfacing for a while in 28. You heard of the Rifleman Bank Station? Bell Tower? Anyway, the Collective is a group of hacker activists, or hacktivists, dedicated to the cause of freedom. At least that's what they say, or what their actions appear to say. They fight corruption by exposing hypocrisy and protecting the unprotected. No one knows the real power structure inside of the Collective, but there is one name that echoes over the darknet, and that name that echoes even louder than Hex, and you can talk to Peter Chang if you don't believe me, that name is Janus. And some say Janus runs everything, while others think there is no Janus. Janus. I mean, what can you say about him? Or her. Nobody really knows who or what Janus is. But what many believe is that Janus is running the most dangerous hacking group in the world, attacking corrupt politicians and businesses on a global scale. The corporate world is terrified of Janus.
I'd love to get a look
The
at
New
the
Sons of Freedom, or NSF, is a small group of militant constitutionalists and secessionists operating in the continental United States, particularly in the Pacific Northwest. The group was formed as a reaction to the American government's increasingly authoritarian regime. NSF is committed to fighting the influence and control of a group of unknown people they believe to be the Illuminati with strategic guerrilla warfare strikes. They are suspected of having ties with Janus and the Juggernaut.
Preemptive action would be great if you were to start.
Purity First is an anti-aug group dedicated to keeping humans human. All pure, no augmentations. In their obsessive pursuit of this goal, they have taken extreme measures and are suspected of being responsible for multiple acts of breaking and entering, vandalism, and theft. On occasion, they've even become violent, being implicated in several assaults and murders as they push for their goal of human purity. They've been quiet since the
I don't even know where
incident.
to start with theorizing percentages.
Jensen, we need to talk. My God, Jensen, I heard about the explosion. We should relocate. I was thinking we could corner Director Miller together. Tell him it's not safe enough here.
We're fine, Chang.
The police station, the train station, we're next. I can feel it. I can more than feel it. I can see it happening.
No one knows where we are. There's no reason to get paranoid.
That's where you're wrong. They're trying to pull the lid off of us, Jensen, or someone is. Praha Dovos just got hacked.
Our building's front company. Thought it was fake.
I wish it was fake. Miller's got me cleaning up IntelliCam footage from the attack to help figure out who these people are. Meanwhile, maybe they're trying to figure out who we are? Why else poke into an import company?
You think someone's figured out that the company's a front? Maybe they know what's really down here.
We have a lot of enemies. The people who bombed the train station. You don't think they'd love to know where we are? You need to help me figure out who's looking into us and make them stop.
I'm gonna need more information about this snoop of yours.
I don't know for sure that our cover's been blown, but if it has, we need to know before our enemies have a chance to do something about it.
You got an MO in this hacker?
At first I thought it might be the Collective.
But you're not convinced.
Not Janus's style to leave crumbs this big. But whoever it is, they risk exposing us. If the Collective ever found out where we operate... My God, Jensen.
Maybe Janus knows already.
Hey, don't say shit like that. I get nervous enough as it is.
You really think there's a risk here? Maybe someone's just poking around the fake website of a fake company.
If someone points a gun at me, I assume it's loaded. If someone hacks into the website of the company that serves as our cover, I assume they're doing it for a bad reason.
Such as?
Everything depends on who they are and what they know. But we're in the business of dealing with terrorists. If those terrorists find out where we are...
TF29 likes its privacy.
Sure. More importantly, Chang likes being in one piece. Unlike you, I don't just brush off explosions.
What can you tell me about our front company?
Praha Dovos was designed to be forgettable. The kind of place you walk by 100 times and still can't remember.
It obviously caught someone's attention. What happens if we're compromised?
My guess, we dismantle and disappear. Agents go into hiding, Director burrows into some hole, poof, no Christmas party. I need you to find out as much as you can about our Snoop. Make sure we're not in danger.
All right. You have any leads?
I traced our hacker Snoop to an unrented apartment. Top floor, 33 Hlavny, just down the street. This guy walks by us every single day. Probably walks in.
You're kidding.
See? You feel it now. The constant buried alive feeling. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought we were supposed to be suspicious of things that go on outside these walls.
It's never that simple.
Just get into that apartment, access the computer they used, and find out what you can. And be careful, Jensen. We don't know who we're dealing with.
I'll look into it. As soon as I know something, so will you.
Be careful out there.
You think one of them will pop up? What is You think one of them will pop up?
Anomaly detected. Trace program initiated. Access granted.
Alex, the whisper chip is in.
Weird, it's already picking up a freak. Jesus, Adam, is Miller in there right now?
Shit, gotta go.
Jensen, I need to see you, now!
Agent Jensen reporting for duty, sir. Tried to do it earlier, but you were on a conference call.
Yeah, I was. Should I be worried about you, Jensen?
Sorry.
That blow you took to your systems. It's not messing with your head or anything, making you do things?
I'm not gonna go crazy and start attacking people, if that's what you're worried about.
You've been checked out then. The problem with your orgs is gone.
I took care of it.
Good, good. God knows with all that's happened, I need you at 100% right now.
You sounded pissed when you called me in. Everything okay?
Don't ever leave the field, Jensen. You'll regret it. As soon as you strap a desk to your ass, you'll be swimming in goddamn politics.
The boss is giving you trouble?
What? Oh, that? No, the Trouble's state police. They're pushing us out of the Ruzicka investigation. I want you over there to make sure that doesn't happen.
You're putting me on the train station attack? Not Dubai?
Forget Dubai. McCready's handling it.
Good. Thought I'd have to fight him to let me handle this one. Whoever planted those bombs yesterday has a lot to answer for.
Agreed. And we have to find out who they are before the state police fuck up our crime scene.
You said they're trying to push us out?
I sent Fletcher in this morning to oversee evidence collection. Seems he's being detained, because he hasn't checked in since.
They can't lock us out. The Czech Republic signed our UN mandate agreement. They gave us jurisdiction over terrorist investigations.
Yeah, well, the former director of their security information services runs state police now. He's come up with a loophole, claiming this attack falls under the homegrown terror exemption.
Homegrown? He's saying it's ARC? The Augmented Rights Coalition?
I don't care what he's saying. He may even be right. I just want us in there so we can find out.
Chang said you've got him cleaning up Intellicam footage that was captured during the bombing. Maybe it can tell us something.
Maybe. But between you and me, Chang's become a little more unglued since Ruzicka. Not sure we can wait for him to get his shit together.
So where do I start?
Technically, you're supposed to speak to our psychologist before getting back into action.
I don't need a shrink.
Convenient because she's not in the office right now, and I don't want to waste any more time.
So how do I get to Ruzicka? Public transportation's not stopping there.
It will for you once I make a phone call. Head to the metro and call me when you're there. Good luck, Agent.
Anonymity, security. These are the greatest concerns of the digital age, and we at Palisade Property Bank have made addressing those concerns a priority. Information archived within the walls of Palisade Property Bank is beyond the legal jurisdiction of any government. Assured anonymity. Palisade Bank the best security.
We're doing extra communication scan tonight for an operation in China. Our people there are taking down a human trafficking operation.
Not the harvesters again.
No, that group's evil.
Smart move. They don't want to be caught in dragnet. It'd be easier if someone would just step up
Evac
and do
team
it.
estimated ETA 60 seconds.
Close my eyes, but all I see is strings of codes.
Thanks. Keep digging.
Took up residence in the neighbors to collect. Dr. Rucker claims his organization is peaceful and merely seeks to ensure the rights of
Maybe the connection is that there is no connection.
I don't really know what comes next. I'm just doing my best, even though I'm so stressed out. Everything just feels like a test that I fail, so depressed when I can't seem to get out. But something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can't and I won't. That's what guides me the most. Fuck your lies, I'll do what I want. The gas in the back of the set, never leaves. She's so bad that the can't hit the brag. The gas in the back of the set, never leaves. She's so bad that the can't hit the brag. The gas in the back of the set, never leaves. She's so bad that the can't hit the brag. The gas in the back of the set, never leaves. She's so bad that the can't hit the brag. I'm inspired by thirst, I'm inspired by worth. I desire your worst, so you can just hide while I work. I ain't tired, you first. I'll write a second, third verse about the lies you go disperse. You never did shit, I know it hurts. Something deep inside